All right. Hello, and thank you for joining us again here on Variant Roles with another installment of the Actuality Archives using Monty Cook Games' Invisible Sun RPG. I am your host and game master Dan Gaston at MadSciDM on Twitter. I use he/him pronouns, and I am here to have some surreal fun with all of our friends and to commit crime, because why not? So Invisible Sun is a game of surrealist magic exploring what it is to be human. And we'll give some more details and recap about the game up top and as we go. But I think first I should let all of my fine players introduce themselves because they're way cooler than I am. So let's start with Corey. Excellent, excellent. So for anyone wondering, is someone saying no audio? I'm seeing audio coming through. Oh, I think I see where it is. Yeah, that's. I can turn it off. It's one thing at a time, but thank you. Yes, I think I know the source of the audio here. Just one second. Um. Yeah, it's just Zoom being weird on where it's putting its outputs. And all right, someone talk, and I just want to make sure. Yeah, there we go.
Start like voguing and
All right, you should be good now, Corey. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
You are in a striped shirt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can hear me now, it sounds like. Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Should I do my intro again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool. My name is Corey Hickson, and now that I'm doing my second pass, I can do this a bit better. I am playing Alice. Alice is a ardent maker who turns tales into reality. My pronouns are he, they, and Alice is she, her. And I'm excited to do some cool stuff today.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, and so Alice is a ardent maker, right?
Yep.
Excellent.
That's her.
Yes. So for those viewers who haven't turned in, characters are described by a character sentence. They have a heart. Alice is an ardent. That is her heart. And they have an order, which is basically the magical group that they belong to, because everyone here is essentially a wizard. And so Alice is a maker who likes to make objects. All right, Annie.
Hello, I'm Annie. I'm at Alphabet Seeds on Twitter. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Henrietta Delacour. It's also she, her. She is a connected empath of the Order of Weavers who disgorges creatures, for fun.
And so the disgorgeous creatures comes from the third element of a character sentence. In this case, their forte. This is a character's sort of specialization, some special magical abilities that they have. And as I'm hoping that we will see at some point soon, Henrietta vomits things.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit tonight.
Excellent. All right, and last, but certainly not least, Sam.
Hi, I'm Samantha Darcy. I'm 65th Victor on Twitter. I use she, her, or they, them. Doesn't really matter. I play Lucky, an ardent apostate who shepherds minds.
Excellent. And yes, thanks once again to Monty Cook Games for hosting us tonight as well. We certainly appreciate it. And we merely hope that we do this game justice because we all love it so much, even when we are still learning and understanding it, because it is fantastic. So, since last session, we'll recap a little bit on where we are, which is basically all of you need some level of information and other things that tie into your character arcs. But one of the main things right now is the ownership of Dark Basement, which is the house that Henri owns and lives in, Lucky squats in, and Alice's house is actually located inside Henri's house in the disco ball, because Dark Basement was once a music venue and is now a little bit of a tenement with a bodega upstairs. And there's some dispute about the ownership, so Henri would really like to prove that she has the legal right to live there. And you found some information to track down regarding a possible former owner when it was an actual bar, which was a demon called Midnight. And so you track down some information, and right now you need to get a book in order to find out more information about Midnight. And said book is in not a library, a bookstore owned by an angel. And the angel doesn't want to sell it to just anybody. And so you're pretty sure you can't buy it. And
I can't afford it anyway, so.
Yeah, Emma is probably the only person that could afford it. And Emma is definitely not going to be allowed to buy it as a goetic. And so you've resolved to steal it. And you're taking the opportunity at a book reading and signing by one Professor Chisholm, who is the historian turned Dan Brown of demon related fiction in the city of Satyrine. So that's pretty much where we're at in terms of where you're going to go. So a few days have passed, actually more than that depending on where we start. There's about, from where we left off to the day or evening of the party is about a week and a half. But we have had a couple of side scenes in the meantime that we've played out over our Discord and our chat to leverage that. A short one with Emma Elizabeth to do with some things that she was doing, and we'll wait till Alex is here and we can talk about that a little bit. But more importantly, we had a bit more of a longer one with Henrietta and Lucky that actually opened Henri's character arc. So Henri, do you want to sort of summarize sort of what happened in the side scene for our viewers?
Yeah. So to give some background to the scene, the forte that I chose that Henri has is discordant creatures. That's not chosen. It's actually a virus that if most afflicted die from it, but those that don't end up vomiting creatures. It's sort of like a constant rumbling in your stomach is how the book describes it. So it's just this ever-present feeling of something is inside of you. When Henri got sick, she was helped out by this woman named Amelia Locke, who also has the same thing. And Amelia really helped Henri figure out, she helped her get better, but also come to accept her new lot in life and come to maybe not enjoy it, but live with it. So Henri really felt like she owes Amelia her life. So her and Lucky went to go track Amelia down. Unfortunately, she was in the really seedy part of Satyrine, living at a homeless shelter. And Henri approached her hey, remember that time you saved my life? And she was just don't worry about it. It's fine. And I'm no. But really, really? And she was just like, I don't know, something's stalking me. Maybe you can fix it. I said, yeah, all right. Let's do it. So we might be, hunting some monsters or some sort of being that's like stalking her that she can't see. So that's how I'm going to try to, actually repay my debt, but, repay my debt to this woman who is really, a big part of how Henri like recuperated. So did I miss anything?
No, I think that summarized it perfectly. And cool. I love your accent for Amelia Locke, which, yes, during the side scene, we decided, even though we were handling it in text, that canon law now decreed that she had a vaguely Russian accent.
I'm terrible at accents, so I'm sorry.
No, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay. Great.
Yes, and so for our viewers, so we're in the city of Saturnine. Saturnine is one of those cities that, like New York City, London, if you're Canadian, Toronto, sort of presumes itself to be the center of the universe, quite literally in some cases. Saturnine, at least at one point, was probably the biggest city in the actuality. It's definitely the biggest in Indigo. But that's probably not true anymore. The city would have once held millions of people. It was a crowded sort of modern city, but since the war, and no one really talks about the war, a lot of the city is in ruins, and that's the ruined expanses. But there's these districts, so it's really like a patchwork of small cities that are surrounded by ruins and connected by train. And so the Hollows, which is where you found Amelia, is sort of used to be a slum district on the river. Although you have to go to the Hollows to get to Fartown, which is where all of you except Emma live, and is where most Vizsla live. Fartown is unique in that someone once upon a time decided all you crazy wizards with your crazy ass magic are dangerous. So we're going to take a district of the city and sort of shift it into its own little pocket dimension so that you kind of kept to yourself. There's some Vizsla that live in other districts, but most Vizsla live in Fartown. Probably about half of Fartown are Vizsla. So so it's an interesting place, and it's weird. And that's where we are most of the time, except Emma, who lives in the ritzy neighborhood in the middle of town. So also we should keep in mind whenever Emma goes to visit you, she actually has to literally take the train through the slums to even get to Fartown. So she really is slumming it.
That's amazing. My heart goes out to her and her trials and tribulations.
Yeah, that's a very, very tough task to go through, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is a big challenge for Emma every day, I'm sure. Well, that's why she only comes twice a week.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Okay, so that sort of is what has played out, and we're just getting word that Alex will be here in about 5 minutes or less, so that is great. So we won't get too far advanced without Emma's input. So what are you all doing? Are we cutting to sort of like closer to the party? Do you have other things that people want to do to prepare that we want to talk about? What do you guys want to do today?
I would like to do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have told my cohorts that we talked about to kind of be in the same area around the time of the party. Not at the party, just sort of around, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So you've got some connections. This is one of your NPC bonds. What's the level of your bond with your compatriots? It's a level 2. Okay. So we'll have this be a little bit of a challenge, but it might work out to be free, because I think it would really only be a sort of like a level 3-ish request to have them kind of on standby. So your venture's at a 2 because it's a level 2 bond. But if you have any other relevant skills, that'll probably take it from a 1 to a 0.
I'd like to convince them that they owe me a favor.
Okay, so you're going to use your
Probably
manipulation.
do. Yeah.
All right. So so your manipulation skill, which is a 1, would make your venture a 3. So your ventures, which is the addition of all of your relevant skills, spells, anything like that, sums up to 3. That subtracts from the level of the challenge, which in this case was a 3, brings it to a 0, so there's no need to roll. You don't need to roll the dice at all, so that will just happen. So you talk to your compatriots, and they're on standby.
Great. So should we... I don't know, if nobody else has anything they want to do ahead of time.
I've got a little thing. I just want to start reading the book that's going to be released.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like, Henri has definitely read it because I think regardless of how this goes down, Henri's plan is to spend a lot of time talking to Professor Chisholm, either like in front of everyone to sort of like distract. Like, she's on full distraction duty tonight. She's going to ask him lots of weird, piercing questions. May or may not have anything to do with the book.
So can we be like in Dark Basement ahead of the party talking about this?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Because in my mind, the general plan is to have Henri distract. Then I can use my thieving skills to get that book, and then we can put it in Alice's hair.
Yes.
Since Alice has that amazing ability. And then we get out really fast.
But I'll stay. Like, I'll still keep everyone like occupied or whatever.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then I'll meet up with you guys later once the deed is done. But I think we have to agree that if this all goes south, like, we just need to cheese it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not getting visibly arrested, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want to go to
Hey,
I don't want to
everyone,
go to
welcome.
Veneer's jail.
Where are my headphones?
Look, we're all dressed up, almost.
I will be right back.
No
Oh
problem.
no, he's wearing like a jacket. Never mind.
I also wanted to go do group shopping before the trip, but I think we talked about that in chat a bit. And maybe not even like group shopping, but maybe like group
Shoplifting.
Okay, shoplifting. We can do that.
Henri works at a clothing shop.
Oh, that's right.
Shop. So I assume that she would be able to take like samples home, you know, to sort of be like, look at this cool thing. Oh yeah, it's from Vavash's shop. Like, you should go there. And people would be like, oh my god, I'm going there.
There.
So we can't rip our clothes tonight because we have to take them back tomorrow, basically.
You have to wear like lots of deodorant so it doesn't smell like somebody wore it.
Yeah.
But not too much so it doesn't leave a stain.
Exactly.
All right. Oh yes, Alex is still getting his headphones on. That's okay.
Yeah, I could post a link of, or I guess I could tweet the dress that Henri's going to wear tonight. If anyone
Absolutely.
cares. It's a super cool, like, I don't know, like, goth Pinterest is amazing.
Wonderful.
So good. I want
All right.
all of these clothes.
Excellent. So we summarize a little bit. Alex, say hello.
Hey, do the full introduction thing. Sorry, I've been drinking a little.
That is okay. Yeah, why don't you just remind everyone who you are and who you're playing.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex. Oh, hold on, I'm getting an echo from the Twitch streamers and putting this on. Oh, I'm hearing my own voice. This is awful. Anyway, hi, I'm Alex. I'm Axolotl Cure on Twitter. I'm playing Emma Elizabeth, the Goetic. Use he, they pronouns. I'm having a great night, and I'm ready to play Invisible Sun. And that's about it, I think.
All right, excellent. Oh, and then his Zoom is locked up. All right.
All right.
No, there we go. Maybe. Okay. All right. So, so we recapped Henri and Lucky's. But Emma also had a little bit of a side scene. So Emma was summoning some spiritual servants to spy on the bookshop over the sort of course of the week. And that went actually exceedingly well. Emma found out some stuff. Surprisingly, the spiritual servitor was able to successfully sneak in and spy on this angel-owned bookshop without getting caught. And in side scenes, we often use the Sooth cards to sort of help determine outcomes. And I forget exactly which card it was, but it was one of the sovereigns, which was like momentous information discovered. And I told Alex that I had to think about it. So Alex, Emma is learning now sort of what was discovered. And Nora had some interesting visitors over the course of the week, which, Nora just interacted with them. They seemed, all right. But when they left and your servitor was spying on them, you heard the name King 9.
King 9, all right. I apologize for my cat.
No, I love it. More cat, please.
Just put the headphones on him and he'll stream for me.
Yeah. So King 9, I think is a name that all of you would probably know, is that King 9 is basically probably one of the biggest gangsters in Saturnine.
Ooh. Do I know if Nora's relationship with King 9 is positive, antagonistic, or neutral?
So you actually got the impression that whoever this was some sort of agent. And when they were in Nora's and talking about them, Nora did not know that they were dealing. So Nora doesn't even know that the person they were dealing with is an agent for King 9.
Okay.
This was something like, basically your servitor was suspicious and like followed them out of the shop and sort of...
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, so that is something that Emma knows. And whether Emma would share it with the group is up to you.
I think she would. I think she would. I'm
ready to party.
I'm ready to party.
I am ready to party.
You look ready to party.
So this book that you've been reading, by the way, is called
I'm so pumped.
It is called Dark Bloodline by Professor Chisholm. Chisholm needs like a first. No, he just goes by Professor Chisholm. He's that pretentious.
Right. His first name is Professor.
His first name is Professor. Well, that might actually be true. He's not actually a professor. It's just his first name is Professor. So it's Dark Bloodline. This is his first foray into fiction, right? He's written non-fiction beforehand. And it is this, like, terribly overwritten thriller plot that sort of details a scandalous, like, relationship of this, like, Vizsla bloodline that has its origins in, like, demons of the dark. And there is, like, you know, some prophesied child of evil and taking over the government of the city of Saturnine. Not the government, there's the Deathless Triumvirate, and they're uber powerful. They're not Vizsla, they're like gods, essentially.
But like the bureaucracy.
But like the bureaucracy, yeah, exactly. And there's like agents of the Church of Midnight involved, and yeah.
Which
literally
every
every chapter ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh no. That's such bad writing.
Yeah.
We can ask about those cliffhangers a lot. That we can use.
Does the book end on a cliffhanger?
The book ends on a cliffhanger. It does.
Good.
Oh my god.
But quite literally, with someone hanging off of a cliff. It is that rote.
It's like a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah. The other annoying thing about the book, because it is a magical book, is when it ends on the cliffhangers at every chapter, the book literally goes dun dun dun.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I love it. I love it. Henri is just like, this is shit. But she's gonna pretend to like it. Because that's what you do.
Yep. So that is the book that Professor Chisholm will be doing selected readings from, as well as signing, obviously. And like there's a mixer with a meet and greet and the opportunity to meet the author and all of that stuff. That is all happening at Nora's Notions.
I'm so excited.
All right.
Okay, so Henri, I think we kind of decided that we would start in Dark Basement getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
So did you bring us some clothes?
Oh, yeah, she just like gestures over to like where the seating area is. There's like a small like portable hanger thing. What's that called? You know,
a rolling rack.
A rolling rack with like some outfits on it.
Okay.
Take your pick. We just, try not to wreck it.
I can't make any real promises.
Maybe just take the jacket.
All right. I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, so.
Appreciate it. But yeah, we do have some nice clothes here, so take your pick.
Do I look party ready?
Lucky, you always look party ready. But you look particularly party ready right now.
That's because I am the party.
You are the party. It's... My only regret is that we have to go to this party.
Oh, you're telling me if that fucking book you've been reading is any indication, this is going to be...
It's a terrible book.
Do you think we're going to have snacks?
Can Alice pop out of the disco ball at this point?
How do you pop out of the disco ball? I would love to know how you exit the disco ball.
Ask.
I've thought about this, and I think what happens is like every time you see like Alice walk towards the disco ball, the camera like pans away for a second, and then when it comes back, she's gone.
So we just happen to like look away at the right moment, and she's just gone.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of like while we're looking away, like just like a foot or a hand like pops out, like full size out of like one of the like tiny squares. It just will boop, and then you're just there.
It does like the cartoon like stretch, and then like and then Alice kind of pops out.
It's like in the Alice in Wonderland movie when she gets really giant and she's in the house and her legs are sticking out.
That's exactly what it is.
Disco ball.
Yeah.
Her body's this tiny disc.
Actually, I love the idea of like your hair, like her hair just like going really flat because it has to go through that enclosed space, and then it just goes.
Yes.
That's how I've always pictured it in my head.
Excellent.
I jump out. I'm like, I'm so excited to talk about this book.
Oh, are you? Really?
Alice, that makes one of us.
When did you get here?
I've been here, you just didn't notice.
Yeah, I'm never really looking for you, so that would make sense.
I'm never really looking for you either, so that does make two.
That means
Kind of weak when you throw my own insult back at me.
So,
all right, I'm ready.
I was like all dressed up with her book, like yay!
we know the basic plan. I'm gonna engage the author and anyone else who will listen. I'm going to filibuster as much as I can while Lucky is trying to break the book out of its chains, and Alice is on standby with her wonderful hair.
I'm gonna need you to like stand pretty close to me, Alice.
Oh, I can definitely I'm ready.
And Emma, I guess, just look pretty. Just look really pretty.
What is our actual plan? Just so we're clear.
That was the plan.
That's the plan.
Literally just said the plan.
So the entire plan is
filibuster.
Henrietta distracts somebody while you attempt to get the book.
Not just the entire party. My plan is to distract the entire party.
Yeah.
What? You don't think I could do it? I'm very distracting.
I don't think it's you, she doubts.
That is very astute observation, Lucky. Good job. Do you have an actual plan for getting past the chains? Do you know if this is magically bound to the shop in any way?
No, but we'll find out really quickly, I'd say.
I think you do know that the chains are like ensorcelled at least, so they are magic. So you'll need to apply magic to steal it.
Okay. And let me remind you, Emma Elizabeth, that we're doing this for you, so you can cut the sass.
My house is safely in my name. We're doing this for Henrietta, and to some extent, to you, or for you rather. That is at least until Henrietta decides to kick you out because you contribute nothing.
You say that like Henrietta would ever kick me out.
Henry is gonna put her arm around Alice's shoulders and be like, "Let's go while Mom and Dad fight."
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Emma Elizabeth, do you have any suggestions for this plan that you'd like to share with us?
Do you really want to ask her that?
Seriously.
Okay, so given that we actually don't know whether or not this is actually able to be stolen, assuming we don't have to somehow dispel anything or get rid of anything magical, if we're just going to try, we better be as quiet as possible. And
what if we put the book in the past tense? Because it's steal. It'll become stealed.
Stolen. The book was sealed.
I'm just gonna say that's actually a very Invisible Sun suggestion magically, right? To put the book in the past tense so it's already stolen.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Is that
if that case
accomplish?
Yeah, if you can do that, then why don't you just say the book was sealed by whoever that ancient goetic was that we met before?
But then if she already had it, then she wouldn't need us, and then we'd be back where we started.
But it shifts the blame.
Lucky, I'll tell you what.
Time travel is complicated.
If you are not completely confident that you can get the book out of its chains silently and without alerting everyone, don't take it. We can reach the building from the neighboring roof. And so we wait until the party's done and we come in at night. Because if we're going to make noise doing this, you might as well make noise while everyone is asleep and while the room isn't already filled with academics and nerds.
Oh, actually, that's an interesting point, because now what I could do is annoy them all so much that they want to leave.
Okay, so then how about this?
And then they close the shop early.
If Lucky is going to be the person who's stealing this book, why don't you take a look at it, try and gauge what you can accomplish, and then Henrietta will go from there. If you think you can get it done, if we just distract everyone, let us know. And if you think we need to do this without anyone else around, you let us know, and we'll go from there. Does that work?
All right. Let's make a note that on this day I briefly agreed with Emma Elizabeth, and I think we're ready to leave.
I'll never bring it up.
Thanks.
I'm definitely gonna bring it up.
Why do you hurt me like this?
It's because you were my brother.
But no longer. Just throwing that out there.
No longer.
The viewer audience. It's complicated. We were not actually related.
It's complicated.
For the sake of our host, however, I think that it would be best if I was not seen at the party. So if you'll excuse me, I will be right back. I'm going to go into whatever dark basement uses as like a restroom.
Oh yeah, there's a water closet.
I'm sure.
It's on the map that I sent. My beautiful not to.
And I'm going to cast the level 3 spell Propitious Swarm and change my appearance to a short, somewhat grubby-looking, like London cab driver type guy.
Yeah.
That's sort of the aesthetic I'm going for.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and spend 3 sorcery points for casting the spell. And you don't need to roll anything because you're casting it on yourself. So unless you, for some reason, want to resist your own spell, you're all good.
I do not. All right.
All right.
All right. Mark that off. And
right.
I come out of the bathroom looking like this short, grubby looking dude with like a coat and like a beat up like little one of those like flat brim hats.
Mm-hmm.
It's her true form.
Henri has grabbed an umbrella and is yelling like, "Ah! Danger!"
Henrietta, calm down. It's still me, but for the rest of the night, I'm Albert.
Oh.
I am Alice's cousin.
Oh.
I read the book because she was very excited about it, and I'm here to engage with my cousin. And that's what we're going with.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just like with this whole dispute thing, you never know when the bodega owners are going to send a brute squad down. I don't know how they got into the bathroom, but you scared the bejesus out of me.
Well, I apologize.
It's okay. So, Albert. Okay.
I won't have any trouble with that.
All right. And Alex, how long does your spell last?
It is, I want to say 1 hour, refresh, 0 dex. I have no idea what that means, but
Wait, I can pop it open here. What was it called again?
Propitious Swarm.
Propitious Swarm.
I'm pretty sure it's the only use of the word propitious.
It is. Level 3.
All right.
Okay, so yeah. Depletion 0 to 6, check each hour. So at the end of every hour, what you'll do is you'll roll a d10, and if it comes up anywhere from a 0 to a 6, the spell ends.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a roughly 70% chance every hour that it ends.
Oh man, I did not know that's how refresh worked.
But so what we can say though is that what you do is when you cast it, you maybe cast it like you get to the area of Fartown, so Crown Street where the Nora's Notions is, and sort of just duck into an alley and cast it then.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
we have nothing else to do in
So
or
you're
around Dark.
gonna inexplicably be like walking in and out of the party. Maybe you're a smoker.
Yeah.
Albert.
Yeah, maybe I'll.
Yeah, you duck into a
know.
bathroom every hour to in
Yeah,
case the
I
spell
don't know if
ends,
I have
kind of
a
thing.
watch, but
Yeah, you have like a pocket watch or something. Yeah,
because we established that Emma smokes last session, so I can just keep a pack on me and just.
I didn't know that.
Perfect.
Must have missed out.
Yeah.
that sounds good.
So that's our story.
All right.
Now, the
Right.
best part about this spell, which you neglected to mention, for the effect of what happens when you actually cast it.
Oh, I summon a swarm of spiders to weave my appearance into a shitty middle-aged man.
Yeah, and then they just disappear into your clothing.
Maybe
Sorry.
they become the clothing.
All right.
Wearing spiders.
Okay. So why don't we cut then? So you're going across Fartown. It's not that far. You could walk through the perpetual fall day that is Fartown. And you get to Crown Street and Nora's Notions, which is a house on a hill nestled between two regular buildings. So it's just one of these weird things where the street, you got two buildings like right out, abutting the sidewalk, and then it weirdly looks like there is a hill in the distance with a little cottage on it, and that is Nora's Notions. And the difference this time is the path that goes up to Nora's Notions is now festively decorated for the party. It is done up quite elegantly. There is a number of, like streamers and ribbons and things like that tied. And there is a school of like large goldfish swimming through the air all across the lawn leading up to Nora's Notions. I'm assuming we'll get Alex back momentarily. I just switched us over. There we go.
I apologize. My computer does not like Zoom.
No problem. So yes, so you've got these goldfish swimming through the air across the lawn, leading up to Nora's Notions, and like streamers and balloons and things like that.
Let's go tickle that door.
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't. The feather, it's to tickle the door open. That's the only logical way to open this door.
There's a doorknob.
Yeah, that's not fun, is it?
It's logical.
Whatever. I like the sound it makes, okay? It brings me joy. So she grabs the feather, like, kind of, like, sniffishly and just, like, tickles the doorknob.
And the door goes and swings open.
Adorable.
Alice will don her.
Adorable.
Ah.
I regret nothing.
Neither do I.
Alice is gonna don her glasses for the party.
Oh yes, of course.
In her dress.
Yep.
Yes.
I love it so much.
Oh, they're stuck.
Oh, they're back.
There we go.
All right.
So cool.
All right. So when you open the door into the familiar space of Nora's notions, although it was evening outside when you walk in, streaming in through all of the windows is light as if it was a nice bright summer day out. It's full of golden light. It's very airy. You can smell the sort of proverbial and literal roses and grass and flowers and baking bread and all of those delicious smells when you come in. And unlike last time, there's actually people here. You're not the only people in the bookstore. There's probably about a dozen people mingling around and talking with one another in small groups. There's a little bar that has been set up where someone is serving drinks.
Are they free?
They are free. They're complimentary. The bartender has like sleeves rolled up, sort of like a old Western bartender with like the garter strap on. And where his head should be is just a large metal pyramid. And he's just...
I've played this video game before.
Right.
And he's just mixing drinks. And there is a number of regular sort of, regular looking humans walking around. But there's a fairly significant number of Vizsla that have clearly gone to the changeries and have, begun altering their physical appearance in various ways. And perched up and sort of fluttering around the room and alighting and talking to people is the four-winged angelic creature known as Nora that you had interacted with previously. She sees you all enter and like flutters over sort of immediately and is like, oh yes, I am so delighted that you could make it. Have you had a chance to read your books yet?
I've read it so much.
Isn't it just wonderful?
I love it.
Isn't Professor Chisholm just such a gifted crafter of fiction?
Absolutely. I don't know why he didn't write fiction before this.
I think he just built up so much knowledge with his non-fiction work that just really helps him slip in to the skin of those horrid demonic entities. The angel sort of like shivers almost grossly when they mention the demons.
Ooh, yes, terrible, awful.
And we're delighted to be here, Nora. Thank you so much again for inviting us to this.
Oh, of course, and you've come just in time. Momentarily, Professor Chisholm will be regaling us with his excellent lectures.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Nora.
You're welcome. Please do help yourself to the drinks.
Definitely.
Oh, we shall. And we won't keep you. I'm sure you have many people you need to talk with and mingle with.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, why, there's Thunderous now. And Nora sort of flitters over to individual that has a large thunder cloud hanging over their head and like perpetually raining. But the rain sort of disappears just before it touches them. So they don't actually get wet. And like the floor around them doesn't get wet. But they just perpetually have this thunder cloud hanging over them.
That's just good design.
So I'm gonna walk over and get a drink, but I won't drink it. I'm just gonna hold it and look sociable for the time.
Okay.
But I'm gonna kind of keep my eye on that locked up book.
All right. And you know it's sort of in a back, almost a forgotten corner of the store, whereas the rest of the store is always perpetually in sunlight. There's this back nook corner that always seems a little dim, and that book, Knight's Grateful Domination, is the only book that sits on its shelf, and it's sort of like shackled to it with a chain.
I'm going to go over to the bar and get a drink, and I'm actually going to drink it.
All right. Pyramid Head bartender mixes you a drink. It's like smoking quite deliciously. It's a nice cocktail that he then slides over to you. And he claims that he got the recipe from Zero's itself. So I'm sure he is sure you will like it.
I'd like to come grab a drink as well.
Does Alice drink? She seems so wholesome.
This is the first time she's drank, I think.
Good.
Love it.
But everyone else is, so peer pressure.
I'm gonna lean over. Oh, go ahead.
I think she just like takes a sip and she like coughs for a second and she's like, tastes like crime. And she puts on like a really mean look.
Let's go easy on the C word, Alice.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Sip that, honey.
The bartender informed you that the drink was called the Notion Enhancer, and it tastes like things that you think about.
Wow, that could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, right.
A lot of ways. Yeah, really. What's my drink? Now I want to know.
Oh, well, that's what he's serving. So, I mean, you tell me what it tastes like.
Drink.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow, you'll have to tell me after the stream, everybody, what your drink tastes like.
I will.
I'm gonna lean over to Lucky for a second. Spell only lasts so long. If it drops, I'm gonna be outside across the street. If I hear something go wrong, I'll make some noise.
Great. Perfect. I'm gonna start pretending to browse the books.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'll actually browse them, but I'm not actually interested.
All right. Yeah, there's
sipping my drink and making my way towards the corner.
Okay. All right. What's everybody else doing?
Henri is injecting herself into conversations, probably dragging Alice along with her to make sure that Alice doesn't get into any trouble.
Alice needs to stay with me.
Oh, that's right. So Alice is supposed to be you. Okay, so Henri is like mingling and basically like suggesting absurd topics of conversation, like, man, did you read that sex scene on page 120? That was a little titillating. Just like generally like sort of riling up or like attempting to rile people up.
And of course the people are all like, wait, you got an advance copy?
Oh, you didn't?
No, we're just getting our copies today.
Well, and she'll like she has it on her, obviously, so she pulls out and she's like, Nora got me a first edition. Would you like to look at it?
Watch this. Dun dun dun.
and so the Vizsla that you're talking to is a woman, and they've actually got a cloak on that appears to be made out of fire, like just fire. It's just like roiling flame, but it doesn't ignite anything around it.
I would hope not, being in a bookstore with lots of kindling.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, can I?"
Oh, please be my guest.
And she holds out her hand.
And Henri very careful, like gingerly places it, like almost like reverently, but Henri does it.
Yeah.
Really
So can I introduce a shift here?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is going to earn you some despair.
No,
So
no.
the Vizsla takes the book and opens it, and like basically to the middle, right, and rips out a page that she then like shoves into her mouth and begins to eat.
Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah, she eats the books.
Yeah.
No. Henri just fucking snatches that out of her hand. Like, what? How? Give it back!
And
Spit it out!
and like she's already like there's like shreds of paper sort of like flecking out of her mouth.
That's
And she just goes, "Oh, that tasted delicious."
I'm
and
tattling. I'm calling for Nora.
And Nora's immediately like alighting, is just like shrieking like, no, you get out of here, and is like pushing and like begins like pushing the Vizsla out. You're banned. Yo, never come back here. How dare you?
Henry's just like, you know, like mostly she's upset that like a book got damaged, but like she doesn't really care about this book in particular. But she's put it like, she's like, you know, oh my god, why would this happen? Oh, today of all days.
Yeah.
In hysterics.
Yeah, and Nora is like very apologetic, but unfortunately has like no replacement copy. She says, of course, you know, for your benefit of reading, I can get you a regular copy, but we're all out of the special editions.
Oh, I understand. That was just, you know, you think you can trust someone. Think you're doing a nice thing for them, and they just, oh no. She's just sobbing. But like, not really any tears are coming out, but she's still just,
Yeah. It's so for the benefit of chat was asking, and for viewers, one of the fortes is like that you eat knowledge. So logivores subsist on books. They quite often get banned from libraries for obvious reasons. But that is both how they learn and how they eat. So yeah. So a logivore just took a big old chunk out of your Steamin' Dan Brown novel.
Steamin' Dan Brown. Hey, Dan.
Yep.
While this chaos is going down.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good distraction.
I'd like to first use my one of my ephemera.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use sighted digits.
Yes.
Which is a mark that I place on each fingertip, and it turns my fingertips into functioning eyes.
Yep. So you pull out a little pen, basically, and like scratch an eye symbol on each of your fingers, and then
I can see out of them.
Yeah, and so then the skin parts at the end of your fingertips and blinks open the eyelids to reveal eyeballs at the end of your fingers.
Nasty. All right, great. So I'm going to kind of hang one hand sort of just down at my side casually, but I'm going to keep my fingers pointed behind me.
Perfect.
While I get closer to this book. And I don't know if there's any kind of check I can do, or not check. I'm sorry, a thing in D&D terms. Because one of my skills is breaking objects.
Mm-hmm.
I also have sneaking and theft.
Yep.
So I feel like I could sneakily break this lock. And okay, I'm just planning ahead. I don't want to do this until Henrietta kind of loops everybody into this big discussion.
Yeah.
So, but
okay,
I am gonna like keep a lookout.
All
so to
right.
speak.
No, this sounds like a perfect idea to me. That you've got a bunch of skills there that you can sort of add into to your venture for trying to break it and get it free.
Excellent.
Okay. So Alice, you're with Lucky. As Lucky now has finger eyeballs.
Yeah.
And I think what I've started to do is I've started to narrate wow.
Excellent. I approve.
That's really weird. I kind of want that as a tattoo. That'd be really neat. Anyway.
Alice starts to narrate what we're doing in the past tense. And she's like, Lucky begins to use her ephemera. She draws eyes on his players and characters.
I know,
yeah. Lucky begins to draw eyes on his hands, and Alice begins to follow him down the hallway. And she just starts to do this as like a precautionary piece.
Okay, yeah. So, are you gonna be using one of your like turns tails into reality things with this? Are you working towards that?
Yeah, so I'm working towards, if we don't have a magical way to break this book out, I want to try and use my entertain, where I tell stories to help people. But it takes a half an hour of telling stories. So starting now.
Yeah, so you're working it basically as you go through, you're narrating sort of what Lucky's going to do, but in the past tense. Okay, I like it. Perfect. Yes, Emma.
If I recognize what Alice is attempting to do based on her talking about doing things in the past tense on our way over here, I'm going to tap her on the back in my
Albert taps me on the back.
Fake deep voice of this disguised man. I'm going to be like, if you're doing what I think you're doing, you might want to do it in the past tense. Because you said begins. And yeah,
I did.
You did.
Alice is like shocked. She's like, I made a grave mistake.
I just pat her on the back a couple of times and head back to the bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my other arm around Alice and just keep her
close.
nearby.
Yeah. Okay. So Emma, when you're hanging out at the bar, what's Emma doing?
I'm gonna be right back.
Honestly, just kind of looking around, seeing what the deal is. Is anyone? So like, what is like the front wall of this place like? There's the door. Like, are there like windows? Like, looking
there's some windows that kind of look out onto the porch out front. And out onto the street, down below. And I think at least in my head canon, the counter with like the cash register and stuff is also on that wall. Okay. And that's about it. Like there's the counter and windows and the front door. There's no bookshelves or anything on that like front wall.
And the signing / book reveal party, that's not near the front wall, correct?
Yeah, I would say it's sort of like more off, like let's say to a side of the room, and like people are kind of circulating in the stacks, because the stacks are all low, they're not high, and so people are just kind of circulating around and mingling. It's definitely like a reception going on at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep an eye on, because I have a plan if things go south.
Okay.
And it's a bad plan, but it's a plan.
Okay. So there's probably like a few people out at like actually, you know what? Probably the counter, like the register is where the bar is set up. That would make total sense, right? To have the bar set up there. So you're leaning against the counter that has the cash register and stuff on it, which is functioning as a bar at the moment.
Quick question. I just can't believe I just thought of this. if I've been spying on this place for a week,
Mm-hmm.
at any point have I seen the key to this lock?
Ah, that is a very, very good point. Yeah, I think, because you discovered some like momentous information. You're not sure exactly what key it is, but there is a ring of keys kept in the cash register.
I think Alex lost audio for a sec there.
Oh, sorry. So yeah,
He
there's
said
a
he's gonna hop back in. Oh,
Nope.
there
Okay.
it is.
Bye-bye.
I think he'll be back in just a second.
Yeah. I also realized that you didn't draw a card.
Yes, thank you. I was going to do that when we got to the party, and I forgot. So yes, thank you for that reminder.
No problem. We were all so excited to
I know.
party.
I know. I get this way with all games. I like forget mechanics. I just like start thinking about the narrative, and I
It's
forget
just
all
fun to
about.
play. Yeah.
So let's draw this now and see what it is. Relentless Rumor.
Oh boy.
All right, Alex, we just
Okay,
reminded that I
okay.
forgot to draw a Sooth deck card when you
Okay.
guys got to the party. And we drew a Relentless Rumor. So enhanced color, green, reduced pale. Again, Secrets, Ravens, Books, Flames. This deck loves the Secrets family. Truth, Searching, and Futility. There is never a real truth in whispered rumors. Searching for authenticity amid the clandestine. Furtive words of a rumor is a fruitless task. Addiction and relentless drives are part of this. All right.
When
Okay, I'm back. I apologize. I did not hear the card, and I did not hear your answer about the key because my
Yeah.
audio dropped twice.
No problem. So Relentless Rumor is the card.
Mhm.
And it's basically like truth and not sort of,
Mhm.
putting too much into rumors. And for the key, you never saw the specific key for that lock,
Mhm.
but you saw that there is a ring of keys that are kept in the cash register.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to Lucky. I'm gonna leave the bar. I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder and lean in and be like, "There's a key in the cash register. I'm gonna try and distract the bartender. If you see an opening, take it."
I got this.
And I head back to the bar.
All right, I'm gonna follow Albert and take Alice with me. And as we like walk up, I'm gonna kind of lean over to Alice very quietly, and I'm gonna say, "I need you to stay really close to my right side while we're up here." And then
Alice.
Elizabeth is gonna talk, and you should probably do so as well.
Alice listened closely to Lucky.
We are so close right now, like head to head.
So I'm gonna go up to
I'm
the
ready.
bartender and just do my best to distract him. Just be like, "I'm not much of a reader. You know what this whole thing is? I'm just here for my cousin." I point to Alice.
And the bartender sort of swivels his metallic pyramid head. No eyes or mouth or anything on it, but he's talking to you normally, and just says, I was just hired here to serve the drinks, and serve the drinks is what I do."
You normally get hired to serve drinks at bookstores.
Not the strangest party I've ever been to, and probably not the strangest party I'll be hired for this week, so just another day in Fartown.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You work for yourself, or you part of a organization? You work for Zeros?
Oh, no, I don't work for Zero. I don't think Zeros would ever rent out the help, as it were. But no, I work for a little place called Blessings.
Okay, where's that?
Oh, it's in Firetown, Sunset Boulevard.
I'm just going to keep this going as long as I can to give Lucky the biggest opening that I can give him.
Great.
Perfect.
Well,
So, yep. No, go ahead.
Can I use a second ephemeral?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not totally sure how this works.
Yep. No,
Okay.
you can invoke them and use them. I'm gonna get Emma to engage in an intellect task as she's distracting this bartender.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's just a level. It's gonna be a level 2 challenge. So
Gotcha.
if you've got any skills appropriate for your venture, like any social
I
skills.
don't think I do.
Okay.
Unless my disguise counts, but I'll just drop a bene from my. Is this interaction or intellect?
Interaction. Sorry.
Interaction. All right, I will drop a bene from my interaction pool.
Okay. Perfect.
That's a 2 + 1, so that's a 3.
Excellent. So yeah, so the
Barely made it.
Yeah. So the bartender's conversing with you, and when people come up to get new drinks, they have to sort of like tap at the table to get his attention. And he like mixes it, like half paying attention, and slides it to them, but he's like very engrossed in the conversation with you.
Good. All right. So, while this is happening, I'm gonna say for a minute or so while I just chat with Alice and kind of half-heartedly engage in this like conversation that Emma, Elizabeth, and the bartender are having. I'm gonna tie a little string around my finger on my right hand, and I'm gonna use Asomatus hand. I have no idea how to say that.
Let's see.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yes. How do we spell that?
ASOMATOUS. Yeah.
Yeah. Somatus.
Somatus.
Yeah.
With that. So that makes my right hand ghostly, and it can now pass through matter selectively, although slowly, apparently.
Yes.
So while Alice is very close to my side, I'm just gonna like kind of keep her really close, and I'm gonna put my forearm on the counter and like put my hand inside the cash register.
Okay.
I'm hoping Alice and her like big hair, like her body is like right on mine, so that hopefully people don't really see it.
I like lean into it too.
Yeah. And if I can, I'd like to close my hand around the keys and pull my hand back out. If that's the thing I can do.
Well, so you can selectively put your hand in through matter, and you can interact with things on the other side, but it won't turn the key into like to be able to pull it out. So the key would end up hitting, but most cash registers have like weird ways of opening them. So I think you could put your hand in and like trigger to like open the drawer of the cash register.
While the guy's right there.
Well, I mean, you can try and do it quietly, and he's distracted, and he's not using the cash register.
I think as you're like considering this, Alice says, the bartender never noticed anyone take anything. And can I use my forte on this?
Absolutely.
How about I can't say it. I don't want to influence. I would.
I mean, I'm listening. If you're like we're right beside each other.
Okay. So if she's narrating this out loud,
I'm like mumbling at this.
Okay, point. But you're like you're right up against me, so I'm just gonna like hiss to Alice, like maybe more than the bartender didn't notice. Maybe no one noticed.
As you're like saying these things to me, I'm like repeating them, like maybe no one noticed.
No, not maybe. Nobody noticed at all.
And no one noticed at all. Just like, oh, there we go.
All right. So Alice, why don't you go ahead and spend your sorcery for that forte ability?
So
Equivalent to
all
its
it
level.
does is gives one bene
Yeah.
for this, but yeah.
Yep. So a free bene. So Lucky, you're gonna be rolling to sort of be stealthy in this
Absolutely.
engagement.
I'm gonna do this as fast as I can. Like, get my hand in there, kind of jimmy the lock or whatever.
Yeah. So I think this will be. It sounds to me like physicality. I think.
Good. That's what I have my second highest score. Okay.
You just so I'm gonna say that the challenge level for this. Let's just get this open here. Actually, movement. Let's go with movement because you're trying to be like fast. So this will be a movement related task. I'm gonna set this challenge as reasonably high because the bartender's not very far away. So I'm gonna set that the base level of this challenge is gonna be a 6.
Okay.
But you've got the bene. So that's going to add 1 to your venture before you spend anything. So like the freebie from Alice's ability. Okay. And I believe you've got some relevant crime abilities here. So why don't you, what skills are you applying to this?
Okay, definitely sneaking and theft.
Okay.
Yeah,
and those are just level 1 each?
I don't know.
Yeah, if it doesn't say otherwise, the default starts at 1. You can improve your skills with additional levels.
Okay.
Okay, so sneaking and theft. So there's 2. And I'm going to say that the distraction that's provided by Emma Elizabeth is an asset. So we've got a venture of 4 already before you spend anything.
Okay. Does Henri notice like what's happening, like that they're all sort of clustered together?
I think this is happening at the tail end of Henri dealing with her book pages getting eaten.
Cool. So a lot of attention is still on her. Perfect.
Yeah. Henry's going to have to provide a new distraction fairly soon for the second theft of the evening.
Oh, she shall.
So we're at 4. Are you going to spend any bene from your movement pool? You can spend 1.
Yes.
All right.
I can only spend 1?
Yes. Yeah. You have to. There's secrets that you can get that will let you learn how to spend more later. But right now you can.
Okay. Well then,
1.
yes, because I have 7 in movement.
Yeah. All right. So that's a venture of 5. So that subtracts from the challenge of 6. So we're down to a 1. So just don't roll a 0.
Don't roll a 0. Okay. 7.
All right. Excellent. So you slowly push your ghost hand into the cash register. You find where the key is, right? So you can move it quickly. You trigger the latch so that the door starts to pop open. You catch it sort of half with your hand, ease it open, slip out the key, close it again with it just like clicking closed, pocket the key. Yep. No one around you noticed.
Great. And then I'm going to take Alice and be like, I saw a neat book over there. You might and we're just gonna walk away.
Saw a neat book over there that that he liked.
You don't have to narrate that part.
All right.
I'm gonna shoot an approving look at Lucky if I can.
Oh yeah, this is a big moment. Emma is being approving of Lucky.
For the first and last time.
Well, he approved of me earlier. He agreed with my plans.
Oh, then we're even now, and we can stop liking each other again.
Good. I'm really clear.
All of this is conveyed just in our facial expressions. Just by
absolutely.
Eye contact.
I'm picturing the Family Guy scenes when they reference Star Wars and the pit on Tatooine. There's a nod and a nod back and then a nod.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Alice is narrating this.
Excellent.
Lucky and Emma nodded at each other, but I did not know why.
Yep.
But I could guess. All right. So Henri, the kerfuffle has like died down around your book being tragically mangled, and you kind of catch out of the corner of your eye Lucky and Alice over at the bar again, and then they're like now headed back towards the book.
Okay. So she's gonna like she's calmed down. I assume people are like, "Oh, you poor thing," or whatever. She's like, you know what? It's fine. You know, maybe that part of the book wasn't the strongest, so I guess it's just I'll have to ask Professor Chisholm, you know, if he meant to edit that out anyway.
And at that moment, you hear a voice that says, "You'd like to ask if I edited what out?"
Oh, my sons! It's Professor Chisholm.
Oh, my sons.
I'm not. What
That's
else?
really good.
I don't know. What else are they supposed to exclaim?
Yeah.
Like everyone exclaims something. We worship suns. Like anyway.
When you spin around, there is a middle-aged man with like a little bit of a beard, but not much. He's wearing a tweed jacket with elbow patches.
Of course he is.
Of course. And his voice just kind of drones. It's very monotone. You asked me if I edited what out. And his eyes have been replaced with camera lenses.
Sure.
So he's got like little like camera lens eyes, and they actually, when he's talking to you, they like rotate and like go in and out, right? Like as they shift their focus.
Yeah. Well, Professor Chisholm, first of all, let me just say that it is an absolute honor to meet you. Nora, the wonderful host and owner of this bookstore, I'm sure you're good friends with her, gave me an advanced copy of your book, you know, because I'm a long-term customer. And unfortunately, this is still very fresh. A logivore came into the party and devoured a few pages of this book, and she like her hands are like shaking. She's really laying it on.
You're like holding the book open. You can see like the torn pages.
You see the tear. She's holding it to him. Like, so I just, you know, I read your book. I just want to make sure this is okay with you.
And his face looks horrified, and he says, "A logivore, you say? Well, that is, I've always said that logivorism is a bane on the literary world."
Oh, you're not kidding.
It's why it's literary terrorism.
I couldn't agree more.
What pages were removed?
How long is this book?
Oh, it's probably too long, but it's not actually a long book. It's kind of short, but it's still too long.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like, I don't know, it's like a 300 pager.
Okay. So let's
just
say
300 too many.
The pages that got, I guess it was just like probably like one or two pages. Like it was a quick.
Yeah.
It was like not quite. It was maybe like a third of the way through.
Yeah. Okay. And so he goes, "Oh, we'll make sure. This will be included in my reading.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to. What's your name? I'd like to dedicate it to you.
Oh, it's like I'm in a dream, but like a good dream. Pinch me. No. So that's weird. That was a weird thing to say. I'm Henrietta. It is just such a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure is always mine to meet a fan. Can I sign your book?
Oh, yes. I don't have a pen. Oh dear.
Oh, no worries. And he like pulls out a pen.
Nice. So classy.
and he scrawls a signature across and talks to you a little bit more, and he's like, you then hear like a little bell ring, and he says, I'm afraid that I must begin my reading now.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I can't wait to hear, the words come from the page out of your mouth. That's so exciting.
I'm going to read that whole chapter.
Oh, boy.
Why don't you come right up front?
I shall. Oh, thank you so much. This is so great.
And so like he begins to move to the front, and all eyes are on him and you as he goes like to the front of the room where like a little lectern has been set up. And so everyone has like drifted in towards this corner near the front of the room with their backs to where Lucky and Alice are. And the only person who might possibly see them would be Professor Chisholm, because he's kind of sort of facing that direction, but like obliquely, like he's sort of at an angle, so they're like off in the corner a bit. And he cracks open his book and he tells the story of your horrendous experience. And so he's dedicating this chapter especially to you for this reading tonight. And he opens the book, and he like has to look down to read, because he actually seems to not have his own book even remotely memorized, and he is like reading it word for word. And so his head's down, and you can see the little camera lenses of his eyes like focusing on the book.
Yeah.
And he reads it with
monotone.
a really droning monotone voice, and there is no inflection, even when the adventure and narrative tone and plot and pace changes. It always just stays like this. And even when he gets to the cliffhanger ending and the chime says dun dun dun.
But Henri is still up front, and she starts a thunderous applause, just like
All right, so I'm gonna have you give me an interaction challenge, because you're gonna try and like get the whole room like focused on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna say this is a challenge level. It's harder than you would think because he's boring as shit.
So true.
Yeah, so this is probably like a challenge 5.
Okay.
So if you've got any spells, you can spend effort, bene, thinking in cipher terms. You can spend bene from your interaction pool.
Yeah. So I could only spend 1, right, from my pool. Okay. Yep. Yeah. I'd love to argue that disguise would work because she's disguising her complete portal of this reading too.
You know what? I'm gonna buy it. So there's a venture of 2.
Amazing. Okay. I will roll for that.
All right. So 3 or higher on your roll.
All right. 7.
All right.
Yay.
Excellent. And remember, too, you can always spend sortilege to roll an extra dice, right? Like applying magic to something.
Perfect. Yeah, I rolled a freaking 7. I'm so excited.
Excellent. So you lead the crowd in a thunderous applause. Yay, Professor Chisholm. Oh, so wonderful. And Alice and Lucky, the room is very distracted.
Great.
How long has it been since we got here?
That's a good question. I'd say you're coming up on an hour by your stopwatch.
Yeah, I'm gonna pat Annie or whoever is, or not Annie, fucking Henrietta. I'm like just tap and like literally anyone who's nearby, and just like a little too loudly say, "Hey, I'm going out for a smoke," and just head out the front door.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and roll your depletion check for me?
All right. D10.
Yes.
That's a 6. I don't
All
know
right.
how it goes.
So your disguise just like falls away in a mass of spiders that then like scurry out all across the wherever you are having your smoke, in an alley or something, and they scurry away.
I look down, I'm like, fuck, shit, fuck. And is there an alley across the street?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to walk across the street, draw a shrieker, and pull the hammer. And I'm going to wait.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's deciding. I don't know what she wants to do. She wants to stand on my shoulder and look over it, I guess. And crawl down my arm. Well, there she goes. Okay. So you drew Shrieker, you said? Yeah, your gun, yes. Cocked the hammer, and you're like standing on across the street.
In an alley.
You have a gun?
I bought a gun.
Yeah, you don't remember.
So you're just standing across with a gun to shoot someone in case things go wrong?
Yeah, we're in a James Bond movie. Did you not know that?
All right.
Oh yeah,
that's how this is gonna go, huh?
I thought that's what we were all doing.
To be fair, that came up when before Sam got here last week.
Yes, that is true.
Also, can I attempt to like really focus on what's happening in the building and like see if I hear anything or like see anything? I'm really gonna
absolutely
try and observe.
Yep. So this will be a perception challenge.
Okay.
You're across the street. I'm gonna call it a level 3 perception challenge.
Okay. I've got a Benny to spend on that. I don't have any relevant skills though.
Okay.
That's a 4. So I
excellent.
Made it.
All right. Yeah. So you've got a good eye through the windows and stuff on the party, and so you are observing.
All right.
All right. Can I? I'm gonna have. I still have my. I have my eyeball hand on the.
Yep.
Book reading. I'm gonna flip through the keys and try and deduce which one it is. I like how big is the lock, and like I want to narrow it down.
Okay. So there's probably about 10 keys on the key ring.
Oh, that's not very many. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll call this. I think this would be an intellect. If you're trying to guess like narrow down which possible keys can match this lock, we'll call this an intellect. I'm gonna say this is we'll call it a challenge level 5. I think you could definitely apply your theft skill here.
Okay.
You know a thing or two about locks.
And I also have a. Can I spend my only point in intellect? Oh no, my dice. I have one. Only one intellect.
Yes, absolutely.
Point available.
Yep. You can spend that bene.
All right. So that makes it what?
So that'll add 1 to your venture. So your venture's at 2. So that subtracts off the challenge. So we're at a 3 as our target. So roll 3 or higher.
2.
All right, so you're not sure which of these keys fits.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna start trying them then. Which takes a lot longer, unfortunately. But that's all right.
I think like as you're looking at the keys, Alice was like, and then Lucky founded, what's the past tense for this? Lucky founded the key?
Found.
Just found.
Okay, there we go. Alice is like, Lucky found the key, and then doesn't specify which key out of the 10 of them. And like that's why there's like no like help there or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, back to the book.
All right. So you're going to be going through the keys, trying to unlock it. This is definitely the murder is, the game that you play sometimes. The murder's chasing you down the hallway, and like, how fast can I get my front door unlocked?
Right. Yeah.
I know. I've played that game. So so you get a bunch of keys, and you're just going through them. So I'm gonna say this is movement. This is like a speed. It's your dexterity as you're trying to get through the keys quickly. This. Well, in this case, the key will fit the lock, so I think the magicalness of it won't matter. But to do it without getting noticed is the trick. And I'm gonna say that's let's just go with a level 5.
Okay. Can I apply sneaking?
Absolutely.
Sneaking, theft. Let's see. So that's 2.
Yep. You can spend
a point on it?
Yes.
You can spend a bene from your movement pool.
Yeah. Oh, for movement. Okay, then I will. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't know those were called bene. All right, so that's 3. So I have to roll.
So that's 3. So we're looking at a
2.
higher than a 2, and you can spend sortilege to roll multiple dice. Like you just channeling your raw magic into it.
Okay.
The only potential downside, so if either dice is a success, it's a success in this case because it's not a magical challenge.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside is if you roll a 0 on your magic dice, then you'll trigger a flux.
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Can I?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, has it been a half an hour and I can use my entertain ability to help again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so we're down to 1.
Yes.
Do you want to say how?
And of course, if Alice chooses, Alice could also spend a sortilege to aid you. You could help a friend that way too.
Interesting. Do you want some sortilege? I'm up for spending it.
But that would bring it to 0. So
the sortilege doesn't add a bonus to your venture. You're rolling the extra dice.
Oh right. No, I don't think I actually want that. It's cool. Thank you though.
Okay. Then Alice says, Lucky and Alice had thought they would steal tonight. And so what was steal became stealed.
And somewhere an editor is like, stolen. Emma outside just knows.
Yes.
All right, so this takes it down to a 1. So just don't roll a 0.
So I would like to. I'm gonna. If it unlocks, I want to like immediately put it in Alice's hair. I know we're standing in the corner, and it's obvious that it would be us, but I'm nervously rolling my dice the whole time, so I'm saying this. Okay. 4.
All right. So
Success.
yes, so you go through like a couple of keys, but like the 4th one slides in, clicks, the lock, the chain sort of like slides out, and you're taking the book and shoving it into Alice's hair. Do you mind if I introduce a shift here?
Go for it.
I do have to cast my spell to like put it into my hair, just for
Yeah.
for that.
So it'll take like a couple of seconds. But yeah, it's an action to cast it. So go ahead and spend your sorcery, Alice, and tuck it in. Can you only keep one thing in there at a time?
Yes, but the second thing I have in there is a feature of that item, not of the spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're the same. They're both in your hair, but they're not actually in the same like place.
They're different magical effects.
They're different magical effects. Yeah. Okay.
One is on the top of her head, one is in the back of the hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Party at the front, business in the back.
And then we're just gonna like casually make our way back to the drinks.
Yeah. So the shift I'm going to introduce is you do get this open. You've handed the book over. Alice is casting it and shoving it in her hair, and like right as that is happening, a voice from behind you just says, "Oh, hello there. You both just seem so interesting. I thought I would come say hello."
I had my fingers looking behind me.
That is right. That is right. Yeah.
I had my eyeball fingers up.
Yeah, that's right. So you saw the person like stepping out of a stack kind of close and coming towards you as you're doing it. So you're like, you're not caught by surprise. And like the book gets shoved in the hair in time, but then he's sort of like just approaching you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, evening. Why aren't you listening to the lecture? Are you not
It's just more Vizsla bull. It's just so dull and boring.
Vizsla are so boring, I know.
Quite frankly, you looked like the more interesting person here. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. The name's Charles Abernathy, and he puts out his hand.
I will shake his hand with my non-eyeball hand. Which is my right hand, so that's great.
Yeah. And you notice he has a goetic pin on, similar to Emma Elizabeth's, but a little bit more elaborate. And he shakes your hand, introduces himself as Charles Abernathy, and says, quite honestly, I have grown to find Saturnine just so dull. And you looked interesting. Tell me, what was your life like in shadow?
Right here, right now? Or, come on over to the bar and let's talk about it.
Please, let's do. I find the lives we lived in shadow, these illusionary lives, so much more real in so many ways, and I like to collect people's stories.
What do you do with them?
Oh, just for my own benefit, of course.
Of course.
It is just a distraction from all the tediousness of our orders and,
You collect stories?
I do.
Oh.
Alice knows so many stories. Don't you, Alice?
I do. I know a lot of stories.
You might call her a story connoisseur. I think you guys would get along really well.
Well, please, both of you, come. Let's share a little bit about your lives in shadow with me.
Alice is very conflicted right now. I'm going to look to Lucky and be like, I think Albert might have left sick. Do you think I should stay here for a bit, or should I go find them? I don't want my cousin to feel lost.
Right, yeah, you wouldn't want him to feel left out. So I think he went outside. Okay. Why don't you go check on him?
I'll do that.
Charles, let's get a drink.
And so, he goes to the bar with you and like really he just like questions you about your life in shadow and what you did, and he's hoping it was like interesting.
Was it?
I'm going to play another card here as Charles enters the scene as a significant NPC. So we have the Forbidden Game, Family of Notions, Danger, and Intellect. The temptation to partake in the game is strong, but you know you shouldn't because it's dangerous. It's forbidden.
Oh, this is a good card.
It is. I love it.
There is a threat here, but it is one that can be overcome with cleverness and strategy.
All right.
This is the perfect card.
It really is.
And so Charles is just asking you lots of questions about your life in Shadow. Meanwhile, Henri, you see Lucky and Alice kind of go by with this like tall man, and Alice then like disappearing out the front door.
I throw like a, as we make it face the camera and be like, maybe a little too obvious.
Cool. So I'm assuming like I'm gonna, if he's not already reading more, I'm definitely gonna Monsieur Chisholm to read.
Oh yeah, it's moved on to like the Q&A section.
Okay, cool.
Of time.
This is where I'm really gonna shine. I hope. Yeah, so I'm gonna like, excuse me. Sorry.
Oh yes, of course, Henri.
So I was just curious, while you were writing this book, you know, there just seemed to be a lot of, I got the sense that you were really sympathizing with like the demonic characters. You know, how did you like get into the mood to write, you know, such like evil and dark characters? And, you know, tell me about that, Professor.
And he's just, you know, well, I have spent a great deal of my life devoted to the academic study of the demonic forces, both of the dark and of the red, and I feel like this depth of knowledge has let me embody them in many ways. I also did extensive interviews in many cases with some demonic entities. Yes.
Are you still friends with any of those demonic entities? Have you stayed in touch?
Oh,
Did you get copies of the book?
No.
Why not?
I just find their tastes a little too distressing for me.
But you wrote them so well, so you must feel, you know.
Well, it is a requirement of the craft, I suppose. I am pleased that you enjoy them.
What about the angels? You know, I found your, you know, the more scandalous scenes to be extremely well written. You know, how did you research those bits of the book?
Oh, well, again, I had some friends of mine among the Order of Goetica summon some angels to interview. Nora here was kind enough to discuss many aspects of their life with me. And he sort of just like, you know, kind of drones on and on about his research methods and when researching the book. And there's definitely at one point you go to ask another question and some, you know, male Vizsla kind of pushes past you and like puts his hand up, and when he calls on him, he goes, "This is more of a comment than a question, but..."
Oh my god.
Yeah, we've all been there. And yeah, so the Q&A goes on for a little bit.
Well, I have definitely been lying to Charles Abernathy this whole time. I have not been telling my real past at all. I told him I was like a CPA, and lived in, yeah, definitely, and lived in New York or something.
Yeah. Lucky might get somewhat annoyed too because Charles.
Lucky is always annoyed.
Yeah. So Charles is a little bit older. He's got like salt and pepper hair, and just enough scruff of a beard to be like handsome. And he's actually quite charismatic, and like people tend to talk to him and like really enjoy it, and like Lucky probably notices his charisma and how Lucky reacts to that. I don't know. But he's like obviously charismatic, but does not seem to know or realize that he is a handsome man.
I probably realize this, and I feel slightly threatened as a charismatic, handsome man. So it kind of becomes like a dick size contest between the two of us, I think. Like, I'm really into it. But then I think at some point I'll kind of like excuse myself and try and get Henri since the other two are outside just hanging out in the alley.
I'm waiting for Alice.
With the pen.
And Charles is actually like a pretty good conversationalist, so like, you know, he just sees whether he finds you interesting. Let's see, like how well do you bullshit him? How much effort do you put into this?
So much effort.
This will be an interaction. You don't know what the challenge is in this case, so we can construct your venture. So what skills do you have, and are you spending any bene on the interaction?
Gaslighting. I mean,
it's more like manipulation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I can, and then I can spend an interaction.
Yep.
I think.
Okay.
So that's 2.
Yeah. So just so we'll just do it. You just add 2 to your roll in this case.
Okay. 8 plus 2. That's 10.
All right. He genuinely finds you fascinating. He pulls out a card and like puts like that's got his address on it and gives it to you. And is like, you know, if you ever want to look me up, you know, please call on me. He totally thinks that you're like best friends now.
Excellent, because I have 100% like turned on the charm and kind of giving off this like ambiguously maybe bisexual vibe. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, and he actually like just seems genuinely nice. He's like he doesn't ever let the conversation get to the point where like he thinks that you feel like you really want to. Like he's really good at reading conversation, and like when you kind of wrap it up, he's like, yeah, great meeting you. I gotta like circulate and get a drink now.
Fantastic. Okay. I just have to say real quick that I, as a player, love Charles Abernathy so much. But Lucky is lukewarm. However, he's immediately like thinking, okay, I can use this in the future. Yeah. For sure.
And I can claim no credit as a GM for Charles Abernathy. He is actually one of the NPCs in the book as like a suggested possible encounter in Firetown.
Neat.
From Monty Cook Games. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're actually all pretty cool. And unlike some other games, like it's just like a little entry like this for people, right? And it's just like, this is who they are.
Well, I'm going to introduce him to the bartender as I leave, so he's not left like by himself.
Oh yeah, and he just immediately would start talking with the bartender and chatting.
Great. So I'm going to walk up very quietly, like next to Henri, and be like, hey, I think we need to go because Albert's not feeling well.
Oh, yeah, that's a real bummer. Okay, bye.
All right, so you guys all exit.
Like
Alice...
assuming that everyone else is like distracted, like Professor Chisholm is like moved on, like Henri could just like extract herself from this scenario now.
I kind of just like the Henri doing the Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So Emma and Alice, you've got at least a moment or two outside by yourselves.
Okay,
Alice,
so I see Alice coming. I immediately put the gun away.
I'll like immediately pull the book out without thinking and be like, Lucky and Alice were a crime team, dream team. I'm just like running over.
Alice, I'm so proud of you. You did wonderful tonight. You and Lucky were just phenomenal. I'm going to need you to hand me that book.
Oh, I think that's okay. All right.
Thank you very much. All right, I was the only person not seen here. I'm going back to my house tonight. I'll meet you back in Dark Basement in the morning. Does that sound good?
All right. I like the plan of that.
Good. I fucking book it. I take the book. I'm casting rapid read on this immediately, and I'm casting it once a minute, every minute until I get home. I know forwards and backwards.
Yeah. All right. So you'll have to spend sorcery with.
Okay, that's a cantrip.
So it's a cantrip. So
yeah,
I think they're free then, aren't they?
Okay.
It's either that or one sorcery, but yeah, you're gonna be able to. Even if you drain your pool, you've got your rest
I've
to
got
recharge
the morning,
it. Yeah, and then until morning. So we'll say that you probably use, a bunch of stuff, but you're going to get through this book.
Yeah, so I'm just going to take the book, walk straight to the train station, and go the fuck home.
Straight to the train set? Choo-choo!
All right. Okay, so everyone else comes out, gathered around, does their thing. Dude, we just want to sort of like cut to the next day, basically. Or
like
does anyone have anything like when you guys leave the party or?
While they're walking back, Henri and Lucky are walking back, she seems like a little like downtrodden, just like a little bit.
Are you sad you didn't get to participate in the heist?
No, I wrote a song. And I was going to sing it just in case. And it's a bad song, but put effort into it.
Sing it now. Sing it on the way home. Come on, just like the old days.
Hold on. Well, it's really bad. You remember that song, Rubber Ducky? Remember, from that Gray TV show?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, except it's, Professor Chisholm, you're the one.
Oh.
You make history so much fun. I can't believe you signed my book. I'm so happy I could throw up. Professor Chisholm, for the book.
That one line is a kicker.
You're right, that's real bad.
It's terrible. That's why Henri's laughing too. She's just like, I can't believe that. What a night.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Thank you so much for keeping him distracted the whole time.
By the way, it looks like someone was keeping you distracted.
Oh. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, that guy.
No, I thought you were talking about Alice for a second, But
please.
You don't think Alice is attractive?
Alice is beautiful. Don't you even? What the? No, just look like you were getting friendly, with that other.
If you had been in my shoes, you would have been doing the same thing.
So you're not gonna call him?
Listen, if I'm gonna call him, it's gonna be to call in a favor. This guy is too genuine.
Oh yeah, he's no good for you.
am
like wraps her arms like around Lucky's waist as they keep like walking down away into the night.
And scene. All right. So Alex, so Emma Elizabeth basically spends like absorbing the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm writing down names. I want to get that fucking rank 2 goetic thing. So I am doing as much as I can with this book, with the time.
Yeah.
With the time I have it.
Yeah, so there's at least a few names there. Not secret names, but like just like the name of specific angels and demons mostly. All you are sure like pretty like low ranked, but there's some specific names there. And there's some other information that I think will take more than just reading it to like parse out, but you think that there is a little bit of information in that book pertaining to a pact.
Okay.
Which finding and discovering a new pact would be a big deal, and you think you've got some of the information that like it's not the entirety of the pact, but there's a bunch of stuff giving you information that you could leverage to then find more. Like basically there's a section in the book because it's written as a like a narrative history. And so there's like a reference to the pact in the book, and it's got some details, so you figure you might be able to use that to like eventually with some research uncover the full details of it. All right. So the next morning, is Emma gonna like actually show back up with the book?
Yeah, I figure I've gotten my notes. I've read this thing. If I can read it once a minute, like I've read this thing like 50 times by now.
Right.
And I've got my notes. Like I'm ready. So I just show back up at Dark Basement with the book in the morning.
All right. And so is everyone like when you guys meet back up? Are you eventually just gonna go back to the Oracle with the book?
I think we have breakfast first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we seem like that type. We will meet
that's advice that I got in New Orleans. No matter what you do, eat
breakfast. Yeah.
All right.
first.
But we can skip that. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh,
we definitely
you can totally. You guys are in charge. You guys can have breakfast and play it out. That's totally up to you.
I mean, I imagine Emma Elizabeth already had breakfast before
Probably.
she came, but
Poached eggs and caviar or some shit.
Topped salted with the tears of poor people.
yeah,
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Yes. Oh my god.
eggs a la Woodhouse.
Yes.
Because how hard is it to poach a goddamn egg?
Woodhouse did not deserve that.
Well, there's things about both spiders and ants in this game, so that's how you get ants.
So we're gonna meet with Emma Elizabeth in the diner. I guess she can meet us.
Yeah.
We can just assume that if we're not in Dark Basement, we're in this diner.
Yeah, right.
Like Seinfeld.
I was gonna say it's Seinfeld. And then one day you have to sit at a different booth because people are in yours, and it's just all wrong.
And
Triggered.
So when we get to the diner, I'm gonna drop the book on the table. Lucky, you did very well last night.
I can't claim all the credit. Alice was a huge help. Everybody worked amazing together, actually.
We did.
I'm really hope I didn't end up on some mailing list.
I think you might have.
You were the only one on the mailing list.
I'm a little embarrassed, but it got the job done.
Yeah.
You did what you had to do. We appreciate it.
And
Professor Chisholm's gonna slide into them DMs in the noosphere.
Oh my god, he finds her on Visley Twitter.
Right, yeah.
It's like, hello. Pleasure meeting you last night.
Just hey with a period.
I've never met someone so titillated by my book.
Like, red.
Oh dear.
So, are we continuing?
So did you, I assume you read the book.
A few times.
Good story.
Something like that.
Okay.
I
That's
learned
good
a
to
lot.
hear.
Now, Double E, I want your honest opinion. Should we give this book to the Oracle? Is it actually as dangerous as Nora would lead us to believe?
I mean, she is an angel.
That's true.
Anything
I think
to
she's
do with
probably
demons.
biased.
Yeah.
By itself, it is not dangerous. Can we be sure that it does not hold the final piece of some mystery that could be dangerous? No, we can't be sure. But by itself, the book isn't dangerous, and by and large, the Goetic Order more or less tries to maintain the status quo of the actuality. So I believe by handing it over to someone of the upper echelon of the Goetic Order, we wouldn't be shaking things up too much. Generally, we're trying to keep things as they are.
All right. All right, good.
Plus, you would get some security in your property.
Oh, I
No.
know. You know,
No. We were just getting information.
Well,
Yeah.
without that information, you would have nothing. So we're on the way to getting.
We would have a book, though.
You could alternatively have a book. It wouldn't do a whole lot for you, but you could have the book.
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're right. And you've already read it, so I assume that you've carefully memorized the relevant passages.
Hey, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a Visley newspaper?
Oh, there's all kinds of newspapers. Yeah. There's like
checking the news sphere for any kind of
Heist information.
yeah, like
Did we make the news?
is there a story about how a book was stolen from Nora's oceans or
yeah, you could definitely go out, spend a few glass orbs to get like a broadsheet from so like, you know, it's like spending less than $1 basically. And getting
Oh my god, Sam, your
newspaper.
face just like, I have to spend money? Are you
you can make someone else spend it for you.
yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
Or if you're at
Just-
the diner, there's probably some copies there, right? It's the diner. They always have newspapers there for you to read. So
Sure.
yeah, so you could just grab one of those papers.
yeah, I will.
I'm picturing it's very much like the Harry Potter papers, like the pictures
Yes.
move. Someone
Also,
like
just-
tries.
Oh, sorry. Just
go
for the
ahead.
record, Emma's in a great fucking mood. She's paying for the meal.
Oh.
Great.
Wow.
Then I'm gonna order some more food while I look at this paper.
I don't even mind.
I'm gonna get a milkshake.
It's like 10 in the morning. Is it one of those ones that's like a milkshake with a piece of cake and then like
Yes.
a lollipop sticking out of it
Yes.
And then whipped cream on top of that, yeah.
and yeah.
Oh my god. I
Yeah.
can feel cavities.
And it's got these little like floating bubbles of condensed emotions, like happiness in it. But the bubbles are specifically the happiness of a 10-year-old boy.
Oh, that's excellent.
This is good.
Amazing. All right, so I'm going to be scanning the papers while I eat a bunch of bacon and drink
Yeah.
coffee with lots of sugar in it.
Yeah, there is indeed bacon, and for everyone who might be concerned about that sort of thing, Most food, especially mundane food, is conjured via magic and Saturnine. So no pigs were harmed in the making of this bacon.
That's awesome. Yay. Is there anything in the paper?
So you read through it, and there is no mention of a heist.
Excellent. Okay.
Or
But we are
any
never
thefts.
going back to that bookstore ever again.
I thought we were going to support them.
It's too late for that, Alice.
No, Alice and I can go back. We'll go back. Don't worry.
Okay.
I
like to buy local.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how else we would buy.
The new sphere. You order off of Viz Liaison.
You know, I found their deliveries to be inconsistent. They have a hard time finding Dark Basement.
That's because you always try to go to Vuvuzela Zon.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can Henri even type? Well, there's no typing, but so I don't think when you're accessing
I
the
don't
news
think she can mentally access anything.
Can you spell the word?
I type out www.vagrantzon.com and I don't know. I feel like it's something it's stuff that I can't really purchase. It's more, I don't know.
Henri ends up on the Vizsla dark web by accident.
All I see are like fireworks and illicit drugs. So I guess I have to shop local because when I need,
falls outside of that sphere.
When I need a variant tool set, I have to go to my local hardware store.
Well, the good thing is, you've got your neighborhoods, right? So even within Fartown, there's many neighborhoods, right? So people do actually tend to shop local.
Yeah, and I like to support my local vanilla, so.
Oh, just for clarification for the viewers, we all have quirks.
Yes.
And Henrietta's quirk is that she is unable to say the word Vizsla at all.
At all.
Cannot.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Corey for making an excellent Google Sheets macro that just refreshes and I can look up keywords all the time on command.
Excellent. All right. So do you guys go to back to the oracles?
I assume, yeah, I guess so.
We probably don't want to be hanging on to this book for very long.
That's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Can we put it in Alice's hair while we travel?
I think that would be a good idea.
Yep.
All right.
Please tell me there's an easier way to get into her house this time.
Oh yeah, well, so this time when so you go to one of these areas. It's not a ruined expanse, but it's kind of similar on the outskirts of Fartown, and the floating tethered house of the Oracle, the Kobaran Oracle. And this time, as you approach, the door sort of opens and a little red demon pokes its head out and looks down at you and goes and then unrolls a ladder.
Oh, handy. Smart.
Do you think that's her pet?
Oh, pet is probably not the right word for that. You guys go on ahead. I should be last. I dangle out my bird cage.
I forgot about that.
Wait, does that mean that Albert had...
I don't have anything trapped in there, so I think I could have left it behind. That's what I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure it only fails if something's in there, and nothing's in there yet.
Okay.
But Albert was super jittery because it didn't have the gold chain touching his wrist.
Oh, right. Okay. So the ladder is unfurled for you to enter.
Up
the
we
house.
go.
Mm-hmm. Is the demon like waiting for us when we get up there?
Oh yes, yep. When you guys get to the top and you find yourself in the entryway where you were before, this little red, twisted, hunched demon, sort of with like a dog-like face, is just growling at you, sort of like a dog. It's basically just there.
Hello. Please tell your mistress that we have acquired the object.
And it sort of just like scampers down the hall, and moving sort of ape-like, lumbering along, and disappears into a room. And after not much time, a familiar woman with sort of like writhing, almost snake-like hair, almost like floats down the entryway as she she's just very graceful. She glides when she walks, and approaches you and says, well, this has been rather quick. Tell me, have you brought back the book?
We have. Do you have our information?
We do.
Great. Alice, if you please.
I lean forward and let my hair over my head and shake it out, and the book falls out.
It just thunks onto the floor, and she picks it up and goes, excellent. And she opens the book and flips through it and then begins to eat it.
You're one of those.
Henri is so shocked that she's just literally making this face.
And she gets sort of partway through and sort of sets it down. Excuse me. My manners, of course.
Oh, it's your house, so...
You can understand why it is difficult for me to access bookstores and libraries.
Yes, things are sort of clicking now.
Now, as for what you were looking for. Midnight had a unusual objective. You see, Midnight wanted to be able to cast real magic, which demons, as creatures who have no souls, like angels and spirits, are unable to do. So Midnight was looking for ways to gain a soul so that he could learn magic like a Vizsla. This ambition has taken him all over. Nevertheless, the last I heard, he had found himself trapped, you could say, in the library of Afflatus, in the blue.
Dan, would you mind typing out how to spell that?
A-F-F.
Blue sun?
A-F-F-L-A-T-U-S.
Pardon me. The blue sun?
Perfect, thank you.
Yes. Yep. Underneath the blue sun. So the blue sun is the realm of ideas. It's pretty
good place for a library.
It is. So the library of Afflatus, maybe you might have some knowledge about it. But it is a place in the blue. She doesn't know exactly what his circumstances are, but she does know that the last that she had heard, he was somehow stuck there in some form or another.
Henry sort of like shocking, like with sort of the shocked whisper says, "The urchin's card was true. I'm going to have to travel somewhere."
If I hear this, I roll my eyes.
Oh no, Alex went away again.
Oh, he did. There he is.
Oh, there we go.
Oh boy, now we're all really shifted. Oh, there, it's back.
Okay.
Yeah, so Henry bows like respectfully and says thank you for the information. I hope that this book offers you everything you wanted.
I am sure it will, and you all have my thanks. And she reaches in a pouch and pulls out and hands each of you a mage coin.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what that does.
So mage coins. Mage coins are one of the currencies, but this is a currency kind of specific to Vizsla. And if you want to buy like real magic, and like even most spells and things like that, most of it requires mage coins, and really the only way to get mage coins is often by doing things for like other Vizsla to earn them and stuff like that. Your regular jobs pay you in orbs, and that's it. So mage coins are sort of a magic currency for Vizsla.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure has been all mine.
All right.
All right.
Have a nice day. Henry does not know how to end conversation.
The nice thing is we can do a cinematic cut as we cut away, and you all leave, and that will be a good place for us to end for the night. So we'll go through and say our goodbyes, and we'll touch on our characters and what they did and why, and various things. Remember, I think I forgot to tell you, Sam, to take a despair for Lucky for the shift that I introduced of Charles Abernathy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I
ask why?
What's that?
Why? Why do I?
Oh, well,
despair?
so a shift always, when I introduce a shift, always gives whoever I introduce it to either joy or despair. Just based on, it was like he waylaid you. I mean, it was kind of a neutral interaction, but it was intended as like a little bit of a hiccup in your exit strategy. So
that's fair. It was going way too smoothly.
And it wasn't intended as like a super hard thing, but just to throw a little bit of a wrinkle in. And Lucky had his dominance as the most attractive and charismatic person at the party challenge. So
you're absolutely right. That is worth despair.
Excellent. All right. So why don't we go around? I think everyone knows where they can find us. All our stuff is up here on the overlay. So let's go around and we'll do our favorite moments, and you can talk a little bit about your character, what they did tonight's session and why, and whether you think you've earned any acumen for your character arc, joy or despair for things that happened in the game, and we'll sum those up. So Alex, why don't we start with you and Emma tonight?
As a player, my favorite moment was hearing Henrietta's song, hearing about throwing up. That was the best.
Thank you.
On every level. I love that.
Thanks.
As far as Emma goes, she's ecstatic. She made a good contact within her order, who's like fucking up there.
Yep.
She got the book and was able to basically like read it all night. She got all the information she needed out of it. Like, she is pumped.
Yeah. So I think you got some obvious character advancement stuff here, right?
Yeah.
I think you were involved in actual theft. So now that something has literally been stolen, I think your fall from grace character arc, like that is definitely has to be a step, right?
Yeah.
So that's an acumen. As a goetic, doing a task for a senior goetic, that's joy. For sure. So I know those two came to my mind as obvious advancement points.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. Corey, what about Alice?
So I was thinking, I wrote out 3 questions for Alice for her arc, and one of them was the question of what is crime, and tonight Alice answered it. Crime is the most exhilarating thing.
All right.
So I was thinking acumen for that.
Yeah. So you have the growth arc, right?
Yeah, I do.
And
so I think it's like many steps are what I take.
Yeah. So because there's growth. Because there's ones that get you 1 acumen, and then there's like sort of a major change one and a climax that get you more.
Right.
So I think these are the change steps, the mini small steps. So 1 acumen. Because the next one is overcoming an obstacle. And then the climax is self-evident change. And so this is when the self-evident is basically like you realize that you can't go back to who you were before.
Can we do a really like 2-second flash forward where we see Alice's climax, and she's just like done something really bad? Like in her future, we know that something shockingly changing happened.
Yeah.
And the camera doesn't show what it is.
Yeah. But it shows her and her reaction to it. Yeah.
Yes.
So what's that look like?
At first it's kind of like shock, but then she's like, this is who I am now, and I like it. And it's very dark looking. It's
and
excellent.
Hair is also just like taken on its shape.
Yes. Her hair has something. It's not the big frizzy lovable anymore. It's more like in the Sabrina new show, like it's straight and very, very characterized.
Geometric.
Yes, geometric.
Can I just mention that I fucking love the Sabrina show so much. So much. So good.
There may or may not be some thematic things that I would draw on from that. Absolutely.
I was also thinking joy because Alice got to tell a story.
Yes.
She likes that.
Yeah, Alice got to tell a story and make it real. Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a great use of your forte of I really liked the idea of magically telling a story about something having happened in the past tense to help make it real. I thought that was like that was great, like tonally and thematically.
Yeah. I think that's it for Alice.
Okay, excellent. Henri.
I feel like I'm so bad at this part. I don't know.
So you opened your character arc in our flash, or in our side scene.
Yes.
So you got acumen sort of earlier today for that, for your help a friend.
And really, like, she was happy, like, to see her friend again, like, because it's been a really long time. I don't know if that deserves joy, but she did feel good that she was able to, like, find her and find a way to, repay her for all the help she did. Favorite moment today, there's so many. Yeah, I think it's just like Alice as a player, like Alice narrating that story was just so good.
Uh-huh.
It was perfect. Like, and but I think Henri might take a little bit of despair for watching Lucky get like pulled away by this handsome stranger.
Yeah.
It might be like a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah, I can see that. So with side scenes, you usually don't get rewards in them, except for if it's something that applies to your character arc, and you get acumen, and you get the joy from, or you get the despair from the shift. But yeah, I totally agree with you that seeing your very special friend Lucky you get like pulled away by this like older salt and pepper Daddy Abernathy handsome man would be worthy of despair, I think, and that intrusion on your friendship.
Yeah, it's like, who the hell does he think he is? This random Volvo just like rolling in.
Perfect. I like it.
Otherwise, she's really happy that she can move forward. Like, she's excited about the prospect of like traveling. Like, that's kind of exciting. It's an exhilarating prospect, and she is one step closer to having this dispute being settled one way or the other. So
yeah, perfect. All right, and Sam, what about Lucky? Lucky got to steal today.
Lucky got to steal, and it went so well. Like, I feel like I should be just reaping joy because I feel like, yeah, I had so many good moments. Getting the keys was really excellent. I also enjoyed working closely with Alice and even to some degree Emma Elizabeth. Like
the moment of mutual respect between
exactly.
Emma and Lucky was pretty great. I like that.
Yeah, it was pretty great. It doesn't really advance my arc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like since that's stealing a house, and stealing this book doesn't necessarily get us any closer to that, but it is theft as a whole. It went like really successfully, so I think he's feeling very smug.
Yeah.
I have a lot of go ahead.
No, I was just gonna reflect on the, there's all this like theft going on towards like ownership of the house of Dark Basement, and it does sort of feel like that climax might be theft of a house, even if it's not literal theft. It's
that's a good point. I kind of like that. Okay, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah,
we are trying to like subvert our way into keeping Dark Basement, even though it may literally be Henri's, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because Henri says she owns it, but we don't have any proof necessarily.
Yeah, you don't have any proof, and sort of the last original owner is Midnight, and maybe Midnight still owns it, right? Like Henri's been living there since she came back to Saturnine, but there's no papers anywhere,
right?
That she owns it.
We are stealing it.
But also, hopefully he just doesn't care, and he's just like, well, I'm not moving back, so
he can't. Isn't he trapped?
Oh.
In a library?
He's trapped in a library. The demon is trapped in a library.
Yeah, I had so many favorite moments, though. I don't think I can narrow it down because there are so many times in this game where I just laugh until I have tears in my eyes. So
I think it was a high point for Lucky all around. So I think that Definitely. Is worth a joy to and an acumen from the theft, from the thieving.
Yay.
Does anybody else's face hurt from smiling? Because mine does.
Yes.
Oh, unbelievably so. Yeah, like this whole area is
Yeah, right.
a throbbing mess.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
whole game with you guys just keeps me like laughing the whole time. It is great. All right, so I think that is that. So thanks everyone for tuning in, hanging out in chat, keeping it real with us. Thanks to Monty Cook Games for hosting us tonight. We always appreciate it, and for making this wonderful game, which we love. So next week, or the next 2 Saturdays, we will not have Invisible Sun at this time slot because of my schedule needed to take it for Dungeon of the Mad Mage. But we'll be communicating, and there may be a possibility that we do it on a different night. So stay tuned. If we announce that we're available to run a different night, then we will do so. And tune in Monday at 9, Wednesday at 8, and Saturday at 2, and Saturday at 9 for a whole slew of D&D. And at least Alex is appearing in one of these. Are you're on Monday, aren't you, Alex? I think Alex can't hear me. All right, I believe Alex Axolotl Cure is going to be in Monday's game.
Well,
he's resetting. Poor Alex is audio. There we go.
Alex.
All right. I was just confirming, Alex, that you're playing Monday, right, with Dungeon of the Mad Mage?
Yes, I am. I'm excited.
Excellent. So yeah, definitely tune in for that. We've got a whole bunch of D&D coming, and we will be back to you as soon as we can with more Invisible Sun, because I am looking forward to it. So thanks everyone, and good night.
Bye.
Bye.